Hello, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the Mascot Mania Breakdown Show. I am Mr. AKI here still with Eggman. Yep, I'm still here, of course. Right. So we are. Yes, we're on part 2. I've already mentioned that, but on the last part, we covered all of the interpromotional matches, namely all the ones which contain both Raw and SmackDown competitors. So if you haven't checked that out yet, then it should be up. So go check it out. But otherwise, we can move straight on to part 2 here, where we'll be covering all of the Raw matches. We'll be breaking them down and analyzing them and tearing them to shreds, in a sense. Yeah. So with that being said, I have the comments up again, and everything else that I need up. Very organized during this, I find. That's a good thing. I think the first time we did this, we weren't very organized. Or I wasn't, at least. So there. Yeah, just blame it all on yourself. I usually do. But yes, so we've got 5 matches to cover this, so we're not going to waste any time. We're not going to start beating around the bush, so we're going to kick straight off, I think. And there's a match that I want us to cover first, because there's a person on YouTube that's a little bit confused on the situation between Sonic and Scourge. So I want us to cover that first, just to clear things up on that front. So with that being said, I'm gonna read what I got for the whatever I put to prompt me to remind me what it's all about. So we have so the main factors. So yes, we're talking about Sonic versus Scourge to start off here. This is a very big match, I believe, for both of these competitors, because they've been on a bit of a losing streak, both of them. Scourge, in fact, he's pointed this out as well, has never actually won a match since coming to the ASF, be it he's just lost or Sonic has not been very helpful on that front, but he's never won a match here. Sonic has also been on a losing streak, but that's because of Scourge's involvement. Yeah, but because these two are clashing in the first place, take you a little bit back, is when Amy did get abducted and kidnapped, Scourge was the one to attempt to try and find where she was and get her back. And Sonic didn't do anything. And of course, we know where Amy's heart lies. And it's not with Scourge, but it might well be as a result of this match, who knows, or it might be as a result of the events that have occurred between then and now. But these two have been really digging at each other either way, and Sonic has been claiming that he's the undisputed champion, and he should be champion, the current champion. He should have every single championship, that kind of thing going on. And Scourge has needed to get his head out of his ass, I think is the best term. So that's what Scourge's mission is to make Sonic realize that he's not the most... He's not what he says he is, basically. To cut a long story short, yeah. Because Sonic's been a laughingstock, but he hasn't seen it for himself. He thinks he's still a legitimate player. He thinks he's still the best. He's claimed to be the one to have made Mascot Mania itself, and so he's going into this very big-headed. But hey, that's just Sonic for you. He's been big-headed for quite a while, not just here but elsewhere. So that's kind of his character. Yes. So Scourge is coming to hopefully wipe the slate clean, but in order to do that, obviously Scourge is going to have to pick up a victory in this match. And this is the thing I wanted to raise awareness about is someone here mentioned, he knows who he is, that there was a stipulation that if Sonic lost, he would have to marry Amy. So can we clean that up, please? Take it away, Doc. Oh, okay then. Well, let's see now. How do I clean this up? Basically, the two of them had a backstage. Could you call it argument? Let's call it a meeting. That's better. Thank you for that word. You're welcome. But no, they had a bit of a meeting. They were scheduled for a tag team match, and the tag team match stipulation was that if Sonic or Scourge were to get a victory, then they could pick a stipulation for the match. However, the tag team match obviously didn't go well as planned. I think Sonic spent most of the time actually trying to think of a stipulation while he was on the apron and being very distracted because of it, because he couldn't come up with one. Whereas Scourge had said that if he does win the tag team match, if he gets the victory in that tag team match, then he would make the stipulation that he would have to marry Amy if Sonic lost or whatever. So, but seeing as they didn't actually win the match, that stipulation is not in place. There's no stipulation in place at all because they needed to win the match and they didn't win the match. So that is why we haven't mentioned it since, because it's not a part of it. That was just a little bit of a red herring almost. But there is no stipulation for this match. This is simply pride, I think you can call it. There's certainly redemption on the case of both of them as well, because they need to get a victory under their belt because they're both looking quite lackluster. Sonic is obviously looking like a joke. Obviously, it would make him look a little bit more legitimate after he's beaten up Scourge and actually won a match, and at the event that he claims that he's made himself, that it's his event. And Scourge obviously needs a victory here, so he actually has a victory, and he can say, I mean, as much as we class Sonic as a huge joke, Sonic is still a legitimate person in the ASF. I mean, how many times has he won the world champion in Retro ASF? Are you asking me that? I'm asking you that. He's won it 8 times. 8-time champion, folks. Sonic is an 8-time champion. That was on Retro ASF when I wasn't there. And a lot of other people. But yes, he's an 8-time champion. And he's main evented Mascot Mania 4 times. And we've had this will actually be the 11th if you're actually counting. For those curious, this will be the 11th Mascot Mania ever that I've ever done. So yeah, so he hasn't done that bad when it does come to Mascot Mania. So that's probably why he's getting this mindset that this is his event, this is his show, and he made it what it is. In some ways, he did. I mean, Sonic was in the first main event of Mascot Mania, and he did actually win it. So, you know, and that was before the ASF was the ASF, you know, so Sonic was winning matches before it was cool, you could say. Even before it was at the ASF, there was Sonic, and he was winning main events. He was. So yeah, Sonic has a lot of credentials, so Scourge really could do with a victory under his belt, and specifically, definitely, to be Sonic. But at the same time, Sonic, once again, is like you said, they're both trying to get a grip and get over with the fans, quite possibly. And the way to do that is to obviously earn a victory over one or the other and end the feud, basically. I think that's what this would do, because, you know, it would prove to them which one is the better person. I mean, they haven't had a clash before this. Technically, I mean, maybe they met at the Mascot Rumble for a little while, but that wasn't a one-on-one match, and it was all a bit kind of frantic and random. So this is going to be the first legitimate match they've ever had together, ever. And so to get a victory over one or the other is going to end the feud, because then they'll know where they stand with each other. because they're so evenly matched and they have an equal persona about them, I believe. Yeah, I was about to say that. They're like mirror images of themselves, except Scourge is doing things currently for the better, whereas Sonic is just looking out for himself. I mean, not that that's a bad thing. I mean, I like looking out for number one, but Sonic has taken it to the next level. He's taken it too far, I think, and he's just become very, very self-centered and not cared about anyone else when it could have mattered. Specifically, Amy, of course, I'm referring to on this occasion. Yes. Is it safe to say Amy's a victim of these two? No. No, because Scourge has been helping her. They've been supporting each other. Just Amy's a victim of Sonic, I think, is the one we should be going for. But yeah, don't want to go into that too much because I can only assume. Yeah. So let's have a look at what Worms has predicted for our winner here. Between Sonic and Shadow, Sonic and Scourge. And he's picked Sonic to win this match. Well, maybe he wants Sonic to get that redemption. I mean, I wouldn't mind either of the two winning. I mean, it'd be great to see Sonic having a victory at his event, apparently his event. And it wouldn't exactly help with the self-righteousness, but hey, there's a chance he could do it. I mean, Sonic is it may be cocky, but he's motivated as well. He's a very motivated individual, but there can only be so much roof above your head, and he's gonna hit it eventually, and reach his limit. And maybe he doesn't realize what his limit is, if you know what I mean. So eventually, it's just gonna come down to how far can you go before you realize that you're in the wrong. And I think a victory from Scourge will correct that. That's only if he can pull it off. But if I was to make a prediction on who was going to win, Sonic has the experience, but I believe that his this is brand new territory for him, and Scourge is I guess he's got his number in a sense. Because otherwise, why would he be? I mean, Scourge made the match. He wanted this match at Mania against Sonic, so he's the one. So he obviously knew that he was going in with this headstrong. That I know what my opponent is all about. I'm going to be able to beat him, and because of that factor, I'm actually going to say that Scourge is going to win this match. I've got a funny feeling, man. All right then. So you think Scourge is going to win? Worms thinks Sonic, so once again we've got a bit of a clash here going on. Yeah, we'll see, won't we? We will see. But yes. That's covered that match, I think, all in all. Yes, it has. There's a lot of factors, but there is no stipulation. There is no stipulation. We will repeat that one more time, just in case. No, there is no stipulation. It's going to come down to who is the better person, and then it will close off. That's all it comes down to. Who is the hog? Yeah, I guess you can put it like that. Okay, so that's that. So moving on now to the next match, because we got another 4 to cover. It's going to be fun. Oh yeah, but coming up next, I am looking forward to seeing your reaction for this one, Eggman. Oh, because we are going to discuss next the Eggman versus Mandy match at Mascot Mania with no countouts. Oh, I get it. Okay, lay it on me. Let's take a look at the factors of this match, shall we? So you can take that away, and then I will speak my piece. Alright then, so this is obviously a no countouts match. That's the stipulation that you made, but you'll probably elaborate on why in a few minutes. But this whole thing has evolved because this is almost, in a sense, teacher versus student, because you were the one that took Mandy and put her on that pedestal, and I came up with, I will say this, I came up with a brilliant plan that fooled everyone at the ASIF, and Mandy walked away with practically everything. So, uh, that's got to be an accomplishment. I'm still kind of proud about it. just kinda, because afterwards it kind of got short-lived, and then it all got ruined, really. But I found out the truth about Mandy, let's say, so it was kind of enlightening. So I'm glad I did it. Yeah, but then Mandy goes out of her way, let's say, to attack you on a more personal level, because you found out that she was in cahoots with Knuckles with the whole issue with the when they had the Hell in a Cell at the ASIF, and he laid down basically to make her win, because they had like a little pact going on or something. But then I made the rule that Mandy needs to lose those titles because the fans obviously were in a bit of an uproar, and the last thing I want to do is piss off wrestling fans. I mean, I am not any other company out there that we won't mention. So that's I don't want to be doing that, but I wanted to do something that had never been done before, and that's probably one of the last things that anyone would think about doing, and we did it. And I'm so freaking happy. I'm still happy that we made Mandy a world champion. Not only that, but a dual champion at the same time, pretty much in the same night. I mean, who can say who's done that? Nobody. It created a buzz. It's something new in the wrestling industry, and you don't get that a lot these days anymore. So it was just so fun to do it, and I'm glad I did. But anyway, moving on, because that's another story that we've already talked about. But that's just getting out that I'm still very happy with that happening. In a sense, we made a bit of history. We made a bit of history and then some. But anyway, you can carry on. Yes, I'll carry on. So Mandy, as I said, goes out of her way and then to attack you personally for some bizarre reason, and goes and attacks our former ring announcer Kanina, who doesn't want to show up now because of it, because of Mandy's presence, and it was revealed. You were keeping quiet about this. I was, because I didn't want to admit it, but Mandy knew. Yeah, because Mandy attacked Kanina because we found out that you revealed that she is actually your daughter. Yeah, she is. So, with that revelation, we knew why Mandy attacked Kanina, because we just thought she was being a bit of a rocker after losing the titles that she had to lose. So, we just came to that conclusion, but we found out that this attack was much more personal. And so you've made now a threat to Mandy and made this match no countouts. She wants to make this personal, and you want to practically. Oh, you can say it. Yeah. I guess I can say I want to make this as personal as I can get, and the best way to do that is take her to the outside, and there'll be an announce table out there, and if she wants to get so personal in my affairs, then I'll just have to do my finishing move to the announce table, because that's where I work. That's part of my personality, let's say. So if she wants to get personal, I can make it personal. And also, it'd be sweet justice if I do put her through the table. And I'm a table guy. I never thought I'd say that, but I'm a table guy. You are indeed. You've revolutionized the table match and redubbed it the Eggman match. Eggman rules. Yeah, and he does rule, trust me. Yeah. But yeah, Mandy, you've made it personal, and I'm coming to get you at Mania. And if you want a prediction, I'm going to say me. Of course you'd say you. I mean, but can we take into consideration what, Mandy's credentials? I mean, she's got that persona about her, and that what do you say? That willpower, because she never. She has that mindset of her number one line when I'm trying to get out here is that she never loses. That's always her. That's her almost a slogan in a sense. And she always goes into every match with that mindset. So with that being said, is that going to be motivation enough to overcome you? Is it going to be motivation enough? I am fueled. I'm fully fueled. This is Mascot Mania, and this is it. Everyone's going to be watching, and this is the biggest event ever. You think I'm not motivated? Are you second questioning my ability? I'm a freaking master of the freaking ring. And Mandy is going to realize that I was the one that took her up there, and I'm going to be the one to take her back down. And she's going to lose badly. She's cost this company and myself a bit too much. She's helped with the anti-heroes with the invasion for Raw because of that match with Peach that I had, and she decided to get involved there. So she is going to learn the hard way not to cross me. Or my family, to that matter. So you'll definitely think your motivation for that is going to be able to overcome that. Mandy's will to win, so we say. If you were in my situation and she attacked your sibling or whatever, what would you do? Yeah, I guess I would have that motivation as well. I would want justice for sure if she wanted to take it to a personal level, so I guess you're right. So that's why I predict I win. Let's see what Worms has to say. Yes, indeed. Let's have a look. So apparently, ooh, more clashing. He's picked Mandy. Well. This is going to be interesting then, to say the least. I'm going to show you, Worms, what motivation is all about, and I'm going to rip Mandy limb from limb, and I'm going to put her through that announce table. Now it's all fair game. She wants to make this personal. I can make it personal. Enough said. This segment is over. Alright, I'm trying to get not too tensious here, or tension-filled, I should say, in this environment. But hey, it was going to happen, but we've broken this down, I think, as much as possible that we can possibly get. Yeah, Mandy's going to pay the ultimate price. And that's a fact. Alright then, so, we will move on. Yes, we will. We'll move on. Next. Alright, so coming up next, Eggman, what do you say about getting extreme? Extreme? Yeah, extreme. You heard me. Because we're going to now discuss the Intercontinental Triple Threat Championship match. Shadow to defend the Intercontinental Championship against Metal Knuckles and Aki, both earning #1 contenderships. Let's break down the factors of how this match got started, and then you can give your analysis. That's a funny way to say it. Well, I thought I'd be a bit creative on that front. But yes, so let's get things, a few factors down here, because this is actually there's a lot involved in this storyline. If anything, in this match. Yeah, so Mascot Rumble comes around, and Shadow and Aki are participants in it. Aki manages to eliminate Shadow, pins him 1, 2, 3 with that with his new finishing move, in fact, called the Loaded Deck. And Shadow falls victim to it and gets eliminated from the Mascot Rumble. But in turn, while I itch my nose here for a sec, Metal Knuckles comes out and then eliminates Aki. So this has created an illusion, because technically Aki defeated the champion. He got a championship match shot on the following episode of Raw, following the Rumble, and came up short. But he only came up short for one particular reason, is Metal Knuckles came out. Because he believes that because he beat Aki, he should get a shot at the Intercon, because he beat the person who beat the champion. Therefore, he would be greater than. Which is a bit of fuzzy logic going on there. But, you know, it's given Metal Knuckles this sense of, I want the Intercontinental title. But when he did get involved in that Intercontinental Championship match, Aki ran for his life. I've never seen him move so fast away from the match that he was having. I mean, he sprinted the other way. And a lot of people were wondering why. I mean, Aki is usually one to man up, and he loves competition. He loves being in the ring and competing. Why would he not accept the challenge of Metal Knuckles when he came out? And Shadow got suspicious of this. So Shadow started asking questions. Our new interviewer backstage is Aki's sister, and he was trying to get the, shall we say, the dirt out of her. And Aki has also been acting strange when it comes to seeing Shadow's motorcycle in the back. And eventually it came out that Alex revealed, who's Aki's sister, doing our backstage interviewing now, she revealed that Aki not only has a fear of fire, which explains why he ran for 6 when Metal Knuckles came out because of the pyro, but also he has a fear of motorcycles. So this has put Aki in a really bad situation, because lo and behold, both of those things are practically going to be involved in this matchup. But before we get into that, there's also a few other factors to take in, namely Aki and Metal Knuckles did have a few matches together. They had a number 1 contenders match, but got a double count out. But then Shadow decided to make it, being the person that he is, because he usually loves defending the Intercontinental title. He loves putting on great matches. He decided to make it a triple threat match with everyone in there, Aki, Metal Knuckles, and himself, just to know that he can beat them. And once again put on a fantastic match. I mean, we all know Shadow loves to entertain the fans. And not only that, but he loves to retain the Intercontinental title, and it's a good mix, and so far it's been working. And then also Aki and Metal Knuckles had a table match, had a 2 out of 3 falls table match, and they practically wrecked the place, and Shadow approved and decided to make the triple threat match now, as we can see it, an Extreme Rules match. So that's how everything has evolved since that point. Also, Metal Knuckles has also got the one up on our Intercontinental Champion. That was a big tag team match on the last episode of Raw, featuring Shadow and Metal Knuckles. Metal Knuckles actually managed to pin Shadow, so he may be, in the right place when it comes to wanting to be champion, because he can beat Shadow. I'm not sure if Shadow was too worried. I mean, usually when champions don't have their belts on the line, they tend not to perform quite as well as they would when it comes to defending the title, and they have a reason to fight their all, in a sense. I mean, it's happened with a lot of other champions that we've had, but not all the time. But you just never know. So there's a lot of factors to be taken into this match, a lot of things to be covered and discussed. So I'm going to leave that to you. Oh, thanks. No, so let's break down everything to do with everyone. So Aki is already proved that he can pin Shadow. Metal Knuckles has proved that he can pin Shadow, but it's been in different environments. Aki pinned Shadow in the Mascot Rumble match, and Metal Knuckles pinned Shadow in a tag team match, which obviously involves, once again, more than one person. Even though this match is gonna involve more than one person, but it's gonna involve everyone that's been in exchange with these victories. And Aki and Metal Knuckles have come out pretty even when it comes to their skill level, so they may both be able to beat Shadow in this environment. I don't know. Like you said, Shadow might rise to the occasion when it comes to defending, and this is Mascot Mania we're talking about here, so Shadow, is going to try and succeed the best he can, and he can damn sure succeed when he wants to. He has definitely become a very untouchable asset for the ASF. Not a lot of people can keep him down, and even though Aki and Metal Knuckles have, he's still got that impressive persona about him, and I think it's built up his confidence almost to say, I'm in big trouble here, I need to up my game, and that's exactly what I'm going to do when we come to the biggest event ever in the history of the ASF, on YouTube anyway. Yeah, so, yeah. Do you want to continue with anything else? I believe I do. I didn't say I finished. So, yeah, so Aki and Metal Knuckles have an even chance of winning this match. Depends on how things go, but Shadow, it's going to be one of those very close ones to call, again, to say the very least, because they're going to go all into this match. Aki's going to worry about, he's got to keep his fears under control. Especially if he's the first one out, because he's going to have to witness Metal Knuckles' entrance, and he's going to have to witness Shadow's entrance. And both of those include things that he has a fear of. And it's going to mess with his mind. Now, we always refer to him as the wild card, but we'll certainly know what is on his mind if that happens. Zaki's always been the unpredictable one. You never know what he's going to do next. I'm not sure sometimes he knows what he's going to do next. But that's what he's definitely going to be thinking about. Or maybe he's going to try and shy it away and just say, I've got to focus in on this match. But usually it's hard to do that when you've got a natural fear of something and it happens in front of you, of whatever it may be. I mean, you could know from experience you've got a fear of heights, and it usually throws you right off when you're near an edge of something. Yeah, and even if I know I can't fall off. It's nerve-wracking. So I know exactly what Aki would be going through, witnessing the fire and the motorcycle and whatever, and it just changes the way you think. Anyone else with a natural fear of anything, and you come up to it, you just completely you capsize, and it completely changes the way you think, for that moment anyway. But who knows? It may affect Aki in a more severe manner because it depends on that level of the fear is. You just never know. Yeah, but this is going to be an Extreme Rules match. Anything goes. So there's definitely going to be a definite winner. We need to get a victory by pinfall or submission. Shadow's got both avenues available for him, which definitely needs to be looked out for. Metal Knuckles and Aki can bring the pain, that's for sure. Aki can use his head to good measure, and Metal Knuckles has just got the power of those fists, and a few other powerful moves under his arsenal. So those are things to look for. This is going to be a definitely hard-hitting match, probably one of the most physical of the entire night, I dare say, and it's all going to be for the belt. And whoever wins, and gets an impressive victory in what's to be probably a hell of a match to watch and witness, and for those three be a part of. So whoever comes out of that is just going to come down to attrition, I think, at the end of the day. Who's going to be the last one with a heartbeat? But it all depends on what goes on. I mean, Shadow and Aki could team up against Metal Knuckles and take him out if they find him the biggest threat. Because let's face it, Metal Knuckles has been a motivated monster. He's been very impressive, I dare say. But the challengers could team up on the champion and take him out, and then we would have a new champion. Or they could team up against Aki and say, get him out of the way before he becomes a threat, because if they can utilize that fear, then they can get rid of him. But that's, again, I can't see any of them working together with each other. It's going to be pretty much every person for themselves, which is what a triple threat match should be at the end of the day. So that's going to be all good, and this is going to be very interesting to watch and very fun to watch, I believe. It's going to be, as I said, one of the most physical bouts of the evening, if not the most physical, because it's going to be whoever wants it more. So let's have a look at the victories, shall we? Let's indeed. Once I get them out, here we go. He thinks Shadow is going to win, Mr. Worms. Shadow. Okay. No, I'm not complaining. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna go with him. I think because Shadow has the motivation now. He realizes the mistakes he's made in the past, and he needs to correct them. And Shadow's good at picking himself back up. And also, like I said, he's got two methods of victory. He can pull off those evil submissions, and he can get pinfalls rather effectively. Yeah, Shadow is definitely a walking tank. Um, so, not saying that the other two are not going to be worthy challengers. I mean, like I said, they pinned the champion, and they could do it again. But for once, I'm for once for once I'm gonna go with what Worm says and proclaim Shadow retaining the championship. All right, and so Shadow will retain according to Eggman, but we will see when the match begins, and it will depend on even depending on the entrances who comes out first is going to be, and certainly when it comes to AKI. So we'll have to see what happens there. We will indeed. So there's that match covered, I think. It is indeed. So let's move on. We got another two, haven't we? We have got another two. All right then, let's go for it. All right. Well, the next match is. Well, we do have two very big matches to cover next. This first one is going to be the last man standing match featuring Mario and Luigi. First time ever in the history of the ASF ever. These two are going to compete one-on-one with each other, and I mean ever. I mean, they've been in tag team matches against each other, but as a tag team, they've never faced one-on-one in a match. This will be the first one ever, and it's going to be a corker, to say the very least. I think is the term. If that's the term, it should be. But yeah. So it's going to be last man standing rules. Obviously, no pinfalls, no submissions, no disqualifications, no countouts, no nothing. It's going to be whoever can withstand the referee's 10 count, and who can keep the other one down. So let's have a look at the factors. You, Eggman, gave Luigi one more chance. I mean, you wanted to manage him. You were disgusted with the way that he was being treated as a competitor, and you practically took him a little bit under your wing, I should say. And Luigi kept coming up a little bit short. He kept having a few victories here and there, but they weren't important ones. And so you felt that Luigi needed one last big shove to see ultimately if he's worth the trouble, shall we say. So this is a proving ground for Luigi, so no wonder he's been acting the way he has been acting as of late. But you made the match between Luigi and Mario to take place at Mania. I did, and I even tried to accelerate it forward by having the match on Raw as a main event, and then that didn't happen, and Luigi once again all hell broke loose, and he assaulted Mario, and he's been assaulting Mario ever since I made that call. I think Luigi even assaulted Mario before that, so I could definitely see the motivation. But this is a sibling rivalry gone bad, gone to hell in a sense. Because Luigi has always been in Mario's shadow. He's been the weak brother, shall we say, and Luigi's just had enough and said, "I'm just gonna take my brother out at Mascot Mania, and I'm gonna do it in the last man standing match." Luigi has even demanded for this match to actually happen. Usually when the person announces the match, I mean, we've said it before. I mean, Shadow. For the Intercontinental Championship, made it in Extreme Rules and wanted to take on both competitors, and I'm very confident he's going to win that match. And lo and behold, Scourge made the match between him and Sonic. I feel confident that Scourge is going to win that match. So this could be the same issue here with this match. Is I feel that Luigi has got that motivation behind him. It's always important to go in with motivation, and it depends on how strong it is. But it could well be that Luigi, this is essentially his time to shine, And what a better time to shine than a Mascot Mania against your own brother, who's uh, been looming over you and making a shadow fall over you all this time. And now's the time to lift up that potential. So I'm already going to proclaim Luigi as the winner, but I'd still obviously like to break down why. But you can elaborate on that for a little bit, I believe. I certainly can. I still have more on this little list I've written down. So Luigi has also made this new finishing move, technically, because he suddenly came out, attacked Mario, and then suddenly they were up on the top turnbuckles, and Luigi practically picks up Mario and drops him square on his head, in like as I've entitled it, the Brainbuster to Hell. And I'm sure Luigi would be very happy with that, maybe, to name that as the finishing move, but that's practically what it is, because he wants to send Mario there in this last man standing match, or just in general. But it is quite literally a brainbuster to hell. And then on one of the attacks, as you mentioned, Luigi made this match practically. He nailed Mario with that brainbuster. I believe it was even through a table, and then started counting to 10. Many people were wondering why, but that is the reason why. And Luigi has got the motivation to make this last man standing match his, by all means necessary, because he's already got Mario down for a 10 count technically. So what's to say, what's stopping him from doing it again? So I can understand why you're obviously going for Luigi here. I just want to look at what Worms has said. Let's have a look. Oh dear, we got a clash again. He thinks Mario's going to win. I'm not going to fault anyone's picks. I mean, none of us know technically. We're just taking wild guesses. But you got to look at the facts at the end of the day, and that's why I go for Luigi in this one. But Mario, I mean, let's not ignore his side of things. I mean, Mario is a legendary figure, one of the most legendary figures in the ASF. He's a former world champion, and he can bring it. He's had some amazing matches here in the ASF, a lot of memorable ones. And this one will be no exception. I believe this is one of those matches that are gonna steal the show, but at the same time, it's going to be a very personal matchup and a very personal affair, and a very unique match, oddly enough, for the ASF, because it's never happened before. We've never seen these two clash one-on-one, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be a definite spectacle, to say the least. But Mario can bring the pain, he can bring the hurt. And in a match environment, Luigi's always been sneaking up behind him and attacking him. But Mario, when it comes to a match, he's going to be focused. He's definitely going to be focused. This is like, once again, I'll say it, it's Mascot Mania. It's the biggest show, and why wouldn't Mario not meet up to the challenge of representing Mascot Mania the best way, only the way he can, and that's by being a winner and being victorious. So I believe that the night may favor Mario just because of that, but at the same time, Luigi wouldn't again make this match just for nothing without knowing what the stakes are. So I believe he might have the edge, but at the same time, it's one of those matches that are really going to be close to call, and Mario's going to bring the pain, and Luigi's certainly going to bring the pain. Mario just needs to avoid the top rope, is all I need to say. And then he might have this match won. Yeah, I'm going to use the word might. I mean, I'm not going to say he will win just because Luigi doesn't give him that, as you call it, brainbuster from brainbuster to hell. Because Luigi still has an impressive arsenal. I mean, he can weaken Mario out with the walls of Luigi, or black him out with the pipe dream, which can quite easily, it can make him pass out, and then he won't be able to stand up at the count of 10. But we'll have to see if Luigi can take the Mario beating that he's expecting, because Mario's going to bring it, no doubt about it. But I just feel that Luigi is going to be able to pull this one off because of that motivation again. So we will just have to see, won't we? We will. Um, but yeah, oddly enough, we haven't talked much about this match, but that is pretty much everything covered on that front. Yeah, it's just going to be one of those matches to just sit back and enjoy because it's going to be the first time ever. I mean, I know we keep saying that and pushing it out, but this is how important it is. He's been doing this since 2002. Okay, they've never had a match one-on-one together. I mean, that's my word that I'm getting from him. No, that's the absolute truth. I mean, I've never had. They've been in tag teams together. They've been in tag teams against each other. They've been in factions against each other. But they've never had a one-on-one match of any kind. So for this one to be the first one ever and have a last man standing match, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be amazing. And I can't believe I've broken the mold finally after all these years. But it's going to happen, and it will happen, and it's going to be personal, it's going to be brutal, and it's going to be ugly. And whoever walks out is definitely deserving of a big push afterwards. So we will see. I see you breaking the fourth wall there. Well, I'm being more for the wrestling fan of me is coming out, let's say. But yes, big things for whoever gets a victory because this is going to be a phenomenally huge match. And no doubt about it, these two are going to beat the hell out of each other. But it's all going to come down to who's got the most chutzpah. I think is the term. Yeah, let's go with it. Alright then, so that is that match. Alright then, I say Luigi's gonna win, but I can be proven wrong with any one of these predictions. I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna be correct. Just making an assumption based off of facts. Alright then, we will see if the odds can be overcome. We will. It's not always a happy ending in the ASF or in any match, so, anyone could be proven wrong at any time. Anything can happen in the ASF. Oh yes, it most certainly can. Let's push that envelope out. Well, alright Eggman, are you ready for the last match to call here? Well, not call, but analyze? Oh, I'm ready for it. Is this the big one? This is the big one. One of the biggest matches, probably the most anticipated, is going to be, we're going to be discussing the World Championship matchup between the champion Knuckles and the challenger who won the Mascot Rumble, Metal Sonic. So, let's break it down and look at all the factors, and then we can analyze the matchup itself. So, Metal has been gunning for the World Championship for quite some time. It's dated back to Survivor Series, before Knuckles even had the championship. Because Metal Sonic lost his opportunity at Survivor Series to get the title shot. But then Knuckles cashed in his Money in the Bank at the time and won the world title because of it. And then Metal Sonic had a shot on Raw afterwards against Knuckles, and then Luigi got involved. He's back again. But yeah, and then so Metal Sonic was sidetracked, wanted to go and get rid of Luigi and for him to be a factor. And then went back to focus on getting the world title back. Got himself a Money in the Bank briefcase, just to prove that. And then at the ASIF, luckily, he was one of the participants voted in to the championship match at that event, which we all know, as we discussed earlier, how that went with Mandy and everything. So again, he missed an opportunity. And then got entered into the Mascot Rumble, and then pushed all the way to his limits, and came out on top, and won the Rumble, and obviously with that has earned himself a shot. And then we know what he did with the Money in the Bank. We'll discuss that on part 3, where we'll be covering all the Smashdown matches, by the way, which will be the last one in this show. The last part, that being. So we'll discuss that another time. But yeah, so Metal Sonic has definitely been a constant threat towards Knuckles when it comes to the World Championship. And this has changed Knuckles' persona almost, in a sense, because Knuckles has been manipulating the system quite a bit to keep that championship. He's been bending the rules and been messing around with the with whatever, because he kind of almost had a knack for it the minute he won the title, through technically unfair means in the first place, by cashing in the Money in the Bank at an opportunistic time. But he managed to retain it, even though he didn't intentionally want to retain it through unfair means. Just unfair things just happened to happen, and he just decided, well, hang on a minute, I'm trying to earn my keep with the fans to say I'm a legitimate world champion, but I'm never getting that opportunity because something always keeps happening to me when it comes to retaining a championship, and I end up retaining because of it. Which doesn't put me as a legitimate champion. So I may as well make advantage of this and just keep winning through this means, because I'm never going to get over with the fan base. So why should I even bother? So he's basically given up doing that, and now he just wants the championship, and he wants to do it through any means necessary, and that's exactly what he's been doing. But as I mentioned, since this that now a definite threat that he's going to have to face Metal Knuckles one-on-one, Metal Sonic, sorry, one-on-one at Mascot Mania, that he's changed up his persona, and now he's started utilizing submission maneuvers and been very successful with them. So it's almost changed him. Changed the way he thinks, because Metal Sonic has always said he's had his number. Just as I said, Knuckles just so happened that unfortunate events just kept coming up, and he took advantage of it eventually and just kept winning through unfair means. Or indeed, when it came to Mandy, just giving up the championship not to him. So again, making him avoid his victory of winning the world title. So now Knuckles knows that he's a threat, and there's nothing he can technically do to stop it. He's he's been forced, shall we say, almost, because Metal Knuckles, like I said, has said he's got his number. So Knuckles is like, I better get a different number then, because I need to change up the way I do things, because I can't just keep punching and F5ing people. That's not the way. That's not the way I'm going to retain here. I need to change up and learn some new tricks, shall we say. And he's done just that. So yeah, do you feel that Knuckles is being threatened by Metal Sonic because of these actions? That's an obvious answer, and that's pretty much yes. I mean, I've seen a change in Knuckles' game plan ever since that it was official that he was going to be facing Metal Sonic. And that's an element of fear, but it's also an element of surprise, because now Metal Sonic may not be going in as confident as he was on the last time. I'm interested actually to get that who Worms think is going to be victorious in this match. He predicts, if I look on his list, that'll help. Knuckles. He actually predicts Knuckles is going to win this one. Yeah, I'm going to actually have to go with him on this occasion. I really do think Knuckles might well retain, because Metal Sonic may now be doubting his ability, because he's saying, well, hang on a minute, I'm facing a totally different opponent, technically, even though it's the same guy, but he's totally changed now because of my threats. So in a way, I've kind of beaten myself up, in a sense, by giving him an early warning. I know how to beat you. And then this has told Knuckles to, hey, I need to start doing something different, and starting to confuse my opponent, who I'm going to be facing, who knows me from like the back of his hand. So yeah, that's why Knuckles has undergone this change in his strategy with these submission moves, and it may throw Metal Sonic off. And with that being said, I'm going to say Knuckles is going to retain the World Championship just because of that. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. So you don't want to go any further analysis? What about Metal Sonic? Has he still got any chance of winning, do you think? Well, if Knuckles can change, Metal Sonic can possibly change. We haven't actually seen a little bit of a change. or should I say we have seen a little bit of a change, namely with his finishing move. If you've noticed, Metal Sonic has started doing a jumping tombstone now rather than the traditional one, which may mean that he can say, this is what's coming for you, Knuckles. I'm gonna jump up and drop you on your head in a tombstone position, and it's gonna to say it's gonna hurt is gonna be an understatement. It's been a very devastating maneuver, and it's damaged a lot of heads that it's been connected with. So but again, I say Knuckles' completely changed mindset and persona could be the winning key. So with that being said, I'm gonna have to say, yep, Knuckles is definitely gonna be the winner, but this is still gonna be a heck of a matchup. It isn't gonna be one-sided. Metal Sonic is conscious of this fact that Knuckles has changed, so obviously he's going to be watching out for any specific attacks. He's gotta just watch out for what Knuckles does with his actions, keep him controlled and make sure, and therefore he can take advantage as long as he controls the pace of the match. If he lets Knuckles take control and pace of the match, it could well be over just with that, because Knuckles is all Knuckles has to do now is focus on a particular part, and then just submission, and it could result in Metal Sonic actually tapping out, which is a rarity, but it could well happen, and it's happened before with Metal Sonic, and there's no doubt about it that it can happen again. Yeah, definitely, for sure. So you're definitely going with Knuckles. I'm definitely going with Knuckles to retain here. Just because of this whole new persona. And it could be, well, like I said, the winning key. So, yeah, that's it. I think I've got everything covered. I think we have. Yep. So, that's going to wrap up this part. We've covered all the Raw matches now. And we're going to thank everyone for taking the time out to listen and to be a bit more educated on the coming events and the coming matches and whatever, and and what we're trying to aim for. But part 3 will be coming up tomorrow. I am a little bit late, I realise, with the releases of these, but only by about a day. So I'm not that late. Just a lot of other things happening. But yeah. So we'll be coming back tomorrow for part 3. We'll be covering all the Smashdown matches. That will be 4 matches to cover, not 5. So we'll have a little bit more easy time tomorrow. Oh, good. But it's still going to be 4 very hard matches. We've got the Fatal 4-Way Hardcore Championship match to cover. We've got the what else is it? The 6-person tag team match. The Retro Warriors and Billy versus Peaches Cabinet and Sonya, all about that spy business, and also the Tag Team Championship match to be contested in a steel cage. Dimension X defend against the Simpson clan, the new Simpson clan of Homer and Bart, and of course the big one that's going to be very heavily discussed, I believe, is going to be that 3 Stages of Hell match to decide who is going to be the YouTube champion between Tails and Manic, and which faction is going to break up, and who also is going to get fired as a result of the match. And there will be no outside interference from anyone with risk of being fired themselves. That's going to be a big one to look forward to, and it's all going to be coming tomorrow in part 3. We hope to see you then, but for now we'll say bye-bye. We certainly will. Good day, goodbye, whatever. Alright, yeah. We'll see you then. Good night.